All right, light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is alive out there tonight. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Welcome to this week's live show. It's been 3 weeks since our last Monday gathering here. So, welcome back, guys. Did you miss us? We're back. Happy Michael Myers Monday. I'm Matt. If you're new here, Halloween Daily News. This is our weekly live stream where we geek out with the Halloween franchise fans, go over all the latest news items, and we got a fun show lined up for you tonight. I see some friends have already started in the live chat. I see Chad's already tagging out because he's got a new job. He's got to start in the morning. So good job, Chad. And yeah, you can catch the replay tomorrow. It'll be just as good then. Everybody else in the live chat, I see we got, there's Patrick just checked in with a bunch of lit pumpkins. Andromeda is back. Protect Safes, of course. Cody Reactions is here. Looking forward to the next interview. Well, you're going to like tonight's show. Let's see. Who else is in here? I saw David Suber earlier. There is my man Phil. What's up? Thank you for the compliment on my shirt. I appreciate it. All right. This looks like we got a good crew up in here to start off with. And as others fall in, there's AC Fall Guy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. All right, like I said, we got a fun show tonight, including the world premiere of a preview clip from our next exclusive interview. And if the thumbnail for this video and the Jamie Lloyd image that I've been sharing all day didn't give it away already, if you were still wondering, guess who's joining us this week? Danielle Harris. We've got a brand new exclusive interview dropping this Wednesday, and tonight we're going to world premiere a portion of that interview for you guys right here during Michael Myers Monday Live. Danielle Harris, guys, it's an awesome interview. We're going to be talking more about that, as well as talking a little bit about Danielle and about the interview and all that in just a few minutes. But there's also some news items we're going to talk about. The Halloween Kills extended cut is almost here. We're going to talk about that and some new details on that, as well as an update on Halloween Ends and what we know about that, as we are now just about a little over a month away from the start of filming of next year's sequel. But before we get to any of that, as people are still kind of finding their way in here, I usually like to start off with a little show and tell showcase of something either new to my own collection or in something we've got in stock for sale, and this being the holiday gift giving season. And since we're celebrating all things H4 and Danielle Harris tonight and all this week, I want to bring your attention, I know I've already put the link down below in the description, to this awesome piece of vintage style wall decor. This is made by Trick or Treat Studios. This is one of 4 pieces that comes in the Halloween 4 set. And the sets are just $10 plus shipping. They're in stock. We have them available to ship right away at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. We got also the H3 set that I showed here a few weeks ago. We've got the H78 set and lots of other cool items available in our store. But tonight I'm showcasing the H4 wall decor set. Again, these are made to be like the old school Beistel cardboard cutout decorations that a lot of us grew up with around. And you still see them out today. Beistel's still making them. And, there'll be colorful orange jack-o'-lanterns, witches, and black cats, a lot of them. Trick or Treat does their own version with all of their licensed properties. And this is one of the coolest sets. So this is the first of the 4 pieces that comes in the Halloween 4 set. This is, of course, Jamie Lloyd, icon, specifically Jamie from that amazing final shot of the film, one of the best endings in the entire franchise. I would argue other than it is the best final scene after the original final scene. So second best in the entire franchise as far as the final shot, that final scene. I just love it. We've talked about that before on here, but as you can see, it's Jamie in her clown costume, her iconic clown costume from the finale, as she is bloody and holding the scissors. All right, I'm going to quickly show you the other three pieces that come with this. This one, another one of my favorites. All of these pieces of art are by, the artist's name is Marty McEwen. Again, these are produced by Trick or Treat Studios, and you get all four of these pieces. As you can see, each one's about a foot high, so they're good. And these are not it's not hard cardboard, but they're not flimsy either. I mean, they're not as flimsy as some of the old school ones are. They're pretty good quality cardstock that they're printed on. But again, this one I love because it celebrates that amazing opening credits sequence that we all love so much. And I'd argue that this kind of artistic way of presenting the H4 mask really makes that mask, which, I've said before, H4 is not one of my favorite masks, but yeah, I think it looks great right here, actually. Of course, the full moon. Love this one. And this one, again, a little more of the H4 mask look that we're accustomed to. But again, I love the simplicity. I love the orange on his jumpsuit here. The mask looks great. It's just a classic, iconic Myers shot. Myers circa H4. And last but certainly not least, speaking of that iconic final scene, I mean, H4, there's so much great about that film, but you got to admit, the very first images you see in the movie and the very last are just stunning, unforgettable, chilling, and that is due in large part to this man, of course, the great Donald Pleasence. Dr. Loomis, I love this interpretation of Loomis. This, of course, that moment of pure agony when he looks up those stairs in that final shot, sees little Jamie Lloyd holding the scissors, doing the breathing, all bloodied. Amazing. Again, they're in stock right now. We've got a ton of them. Buy them right now or this week. You're going to get them in plenty of time to, if you're shopping for anybody, to give Halloween-themed gifts to. And we've got some other cool sets there you can check out while you're at the store. That's all at HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop, and you can find a direct link to the H4 set down in the description below. Yes, David's right. You got it. No. That's the moment. That is the moment. I love that H4 set. Let's see. I see Byron has joined us. Welcome, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday to you. Let's see. Here's a toast. Again, to all you guys. Let's see. Brad is here. Glad you're able to tune in too, sir. Thank you for being here. Ken has checked in as well. Awesome. Great to see all you guys. Fall Guy says that's awesome. Yeah, those sets are all great, but the H4 one, I mean, they're all great. I've over the weeks kind of showcased each one that we have, but I figured, what better time to showcase the H4 set than tonight. All right, let's get into the news items because again, it's been actually 3 weeks since our last Michael Myers Monday live stream. And there has been some news developments. The most notable one, the biggest one, aside from what we're going to talk about with HK, which is not total breaking news, but we finally got the release of Funko's much anticipated Michael Myers pop figure with the Myers house. Have you guys seen this? I'm sure you've all seen this already, we're going to go over to HalloweenDailyNews.com here and pull it up. Now, this is a Spirit Halloween exclusive. It is, of course, from Funko. And what we've got here is a brand new Michael Myers body pose. A little bit different than the H2O that was recycled this year and different than the original version. This is a new one. It's got blood on the butcher knife, blood on the coveralls, new pose. The head sculpt appears to be the same they've used on a couple other releases this year, including that Jumbo. It was first released, that head sculpt, as the H2O Michael Myers back in 2018. Now, of course, the big selling point here is not only the new body sculpt, but the fact that it comes with the damn Myers house. Funko has really stepped up their Myers output, I should say, this year, which I'm thrilled about because I've complained before that while there's literally dozens of Pennywise Funkos and Jason Funkos, and even Freddy Funkos, there haven't been nearly as many Michaels over the years. And so this one went up for pre-order just a few weeks ago. Not for pre-order, excuse me, up for order. It is in stock and selling right now, shipping immediately from SpiritHalloween.com. I've got a link to our article where you can see all of our photos up close down in the description. Also, if you go to our article and click to purchase this set through the associate link in our article, that helps out HDN as well. We earn a small commission from any sale that's made through those associate links, so that helps out a ton with keeping us in business around here and keeping cool stuff like this happening. I can tell you, if you order it, they are shipping them fast. We are going to have one. I'm going to have one here to show you guys very soon, but not quite yet, because we're just gonna wait and let Santa do his thing, if you know what I mean. But we got one coming. And there you can see that the Myers house, it is in its 1978 look, with even with the Strode Realty sign in the front yard. And it is retailing for $33 exclusively from SpiritHalloween.com. Like I said, you can find an associate link to purchase it right now, and it'll be in your hands within days in the description below. How many of you have already placed your order for this? You know, we were starting to worry if this was going to come out or not. Images had surfaced of this months ago, and originally I thought it wasn't even real at first. Like, personally, I thought it was like a custom job that somebody had, customized, made. Like a lot of these custom Funko figures that aren't official. But no, it was the real deal. It was this. It was just that it was not available yet here in the US. It was available in some markets overseas in other countries. And even some retailers here were able to order some from overseas and get them. And a few people found them right before Spirit finally got their shipment. And I mean, I imagine this was going to be a big September or October release for Spirit Halloween and Funko originally, but because of all the shipping delays and issues going on, I imagine that led to it being delayed until now, which now it's going to be the hot gift item for all of us. So, top of my list from Santa. David said Australia got it first. That is what I understand. Larry has checked in. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Patrick says he owns the H1, H3, and H4 sets of wall decor. Now we need 2, 5, and 6. Yep. Um, Also, speaking of the Myers house, you guys all know the Michael Dougherty film Krampus, and you probably are aware that Scream Factory is releasing a new naughty cut of Krampus. Actually, this week it's being released. Well, there is new bonus content included on that release. And Scream Factory uploaded one of the featurettes, and it talks about some of the neighborhood houses that were inserted into the film. And Dougherty talks about putting in a few notable houses from other classic horror films. And if you look, you'll be able to recognize them. Now, I had heard already that there were some in the final scene, in the other snow globes, in the final scene of the film. But yeah, he says there's also a bunch in the scene when Krampus is jumping from roof to roof, including this one, straight out of Haddonfield. That's right. The Myers house was one of the homes that was digitally included in Krampus. So now we all have something else to look for during this year's rewatch of Krampus. All right. In other news this week, did you guys see our buddy Sean Clark's new episode of Horror's Hallowed Grounds? It is on again. Since we're on all things Danielle Harris tonight and this week, Sean's recent episode ties into that a little bit as well, because it was all on Rob Zombie's Halloween '07. And here you can see just a little bit of it. And it's a great episode. If you've seen any of his previous episodes, Sean always does a great job with Horror's Hallowed Grounds, visiting all of the locations. This one might be the most exhaustive and detailed episode that he's done, maybe. I mean, it is really covers everything that was filmed, including many deleted scenes, including um, deleted scenes that didn't even make the deleted uh, scenes reel on the DVD. And yeah, you can see just some little pieces here. He goes everywhere. There's at the school, and the way the whole episode is presented this time is it's in chronological order of how when it was filmed, because he has the actual shooting schedule to refer to, so that's how it's all edited. It's a great episode. And when you're doing your own self-guided tour of the locations next time you're out in LA, it will be indispensable for you. It's also pretty wild to see how close so much of the '07 film locations are literally to the '78 locations, their counterparts. Also, since our last gathering, Sean uploaded another video that you guys probably saw, but just want to point it out if you haven't already, with Mr. Nick Castle and Nick's screen used Halloween Kills mask, which get a really good close up look at. There's a good close up look at it right there. Nick also describes that deleted scene that he did film, and describes it a tiny bit more in detail than what we had heard before. It's basically what we had heard before was that it was a scene in Sandra and Roger's house when she is flying the drone and it flies into the bathroom. And we knew that it would have flown in there and seen a POV. We would have seen a POV from the drone and seen Michael through the a reflection of Michael in the mirror. And Nick elaborates a tiny bit more that basically not only was he just in there, like I pictured that he was in there, just kind of Michael just standing there waiting, doing his Michael thing. But the way Nick kind of tells it to Sean, in actuality, when he was shooting the scene, he was basically bandaging his hand. That's when Michael was bandaging his hand. I think we kind of assumed that that might be what was going on in there. It's a little more confirmation there. How much of that would have been seen in that POV shot? Probably not much at all. And Nick says he just kind of bats it away, and that's how it was going to play out. So you can hear Nick's own words describing that in this video. And again, I put a link down in the description for this as well. But here you can see some of the close-up shots of the screen-used mask. And I just wanted to point out a little bit because, again, we do have the Trick or Treat Studios officially licensed Halloween Kills mask also in stock right now. HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. Also makes great holiday gift idea as well. And, you know, I mean, a lot of people complained that those Trick or Treat masks had too much yellow in them. And I just want to point out that that is a bit of yellow right there on Nick Castle's screen used HK mask. Again, it's all in the lighting, people, and the constant expert paint touch-ups by somebody as talented as Christopher Nelson and his team, of course. But again, really cool to see this up close. Excuse me. And to see how screen accurate the Trick or Treat version is in a lot of ways. Now, it's far from, you know, perfect, of course, but that sculpt is dead on, as we know, and it's confirmed right here. That's the big scar up in the kind of the left temple area, and everything that's represented here is in that Trick or Treat mask in some way. So I just thought that was cool to point out. Just some really great shots of the mask there. Again, you can see Sean's full video. It's only a little over 5 minutes long. It's over on his channel, and I made it real easy for y'all tonight. If you haven't watched it, when we're done here, there's a link down in the description. You can just click on it and go watch it over there. That and the locations video if you're into that. All right. That brings us to Halloween Kills Extended Cut. So, how many of you have pre-ordered this sucker? Are you getting it on digital? It drops on digital actually 1 week from today on Monday. That's right. They're releasing it on Michael Myers Monday, December 13th. It'll be available on Amazon Prime to purchase digitally, the extended cut. The following day, oddly, but the following day, December 14th, and I believe that December 14th is the actual release date for other VOD markets, although I haven't confirmed that quite yet. But we know that it's hitting iTunes the next day, and we've gotten some further news since our last Michael Myers Monday live stream that what some of the extras included are going to be in that purchase, in that digital purchase, and presumably they're going to be the same extras that will be included on the actual physical Blu-ray and 4K release that's coming in January, on January 11th. Now, we've reported on those release dates the last time we gathered 3 weeks ago, and you'll remember that that physical release date came to us courtesy of a Best Buy listing of this Best Buy exclusive Steelbook version of the 4K. That's a limited edition Steelbook. Now, still haven't 100% confirmed that this Steelbook will include the extended edition, but I'm pretty sure that any release of this film is probably going to be including both versions. I don't know that for sure right now, because we've still not got an official announcement about the physical release, but we do have official word about the extended cut digital release. And that is definitely hitting Amazon. Like I said, 1 week from today, fittingly on Michael Myers Monday, December 13th. I've got the link to order it via Amazon also in the description right now. And then that following day, December 14th, it arrives on iTunes. Now, here's what's interesting. These iTunes extras. Now, this is a tweet that went out a few days ago by Matt Serafini. And he sends a hat tip to at Proof Poochie. I don't have iTunes. I haven't pre-ordered the film, the extended cut, yet myself, but we did verify it ourselves thanks to our friend Phil, who is here tonight in the live stream. Big shout out to our buddy Phil. He has already pre-ordered the extended cut on iTunes, and he confirmed to me just earlier this evening, in fact, that everything we see here is true. That's the extras included with the extended cut. So we're getting the extended version and the theatrical version. That was a question I had all along. I was hoping they would include both. Looks like they're going to. We're going to get a gag reel, which is always fun. Haddonfield's Open Wounds. This will be one of those featurette, behind the scenes promo type featurettes. Deleted and extended scenes. This will be very exciting to see. Certainly, I imagine Nick's scene that he filmed and that he's talked about will be among those deleted scenes. I'm still not clear. I don't think any of us are 100% sure if the extended cut will include just this added final scene, this extra ending, which we've discussed before. It's basically an ending that's spelled out in the novelization, and that ending we know is going to be reinserted. Will Nick's scene or any of these other deleted extended scenes be reinserted into the extended cut, or is the extension of the extended cut limited to just that alternate ending, or really that additional scene, I guess we should say. Back to the list of extras, though, we've got a featurette called The Kill Team. I think we might have seen that one on YouTube already in the marketing for the film. Strode Family Values, we definitely saw that. I think the 1978 Transformations, most of these were released already in the marketing for the film. The Power of Fear, Kill Count, and this is probably most exciting for me, aside from the deleted and extended scenes. I am so excited to see that we are getting extended cut and theatrical version commentaries with director and co-writer David Gordon Green, and a separate commentary track with Jamie Lee Curtis and Judy Greer. This is great news. I love feature-length commentaries. Too many releases come out nowadays without them, and I think that's a big thing that digital releases are lacking, are the extras, the bonus features. And what we do often get on bonus features is limited to, like I said, just often like the 2018 film. Most of that stuff that was included in there was released already online in the marketing, either for the film itself or for the home video release. The deleted scenes, again, that were included there, which we know there were others, that really made that the buying point at that point. So I'm thrilled as can be to see that we're getting not one feature-length commentary, but two. And it's always fun hearing the filmmaker himself discuss the film shot by shot in these commentaries. It's one of my favorite things. And if you've heard any of Jamie's other commentaries, sometimes with John Carpenter and on previous films, she's always a blast to listen to. So it should be a lot of fun to listen to her and Judy on a whole separate track. So those extras really, really bump up the value of this for me. Very excited for that. Now, I will say that Halloween Kills, it's listed with a 1 hour, 45-minute runtime. And I will say that, again, thanks to our buddy Phil out there who has pre ordered this himself. I asked him, I was like, well, does it have a runtime? Because I was just curious. It's also listed at 145, according to Phil. So any extension, it's not going to be super, super long, it sounds like. But those deleted extended scenes, I think is going to be what we are going to see. Some of those kills extended a little bit more, maybe a few that didn't make the theatrical cut. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. Like I said, I have not pre-ordered the digital version yet, and at this point, I'm gonna pause and take a drink and wet my whistle here, and I want to hear from you guys in the live chat room right now. Are you gonna order the digital, purchase it, and if so, are you still getting the physical, or are you going to hold out and just get the physical? Are you getting them both? Let me know what your plan is if you've already pre-ordered it. And let's see. Phil says, I keep seeing the scene. Phil, you saw it. He was sitting in a chair in front of the mirror. Andromeda likes the thought of Michael throwing it back at them. Yeah, I mean, the way the theatrical is cut, I kind of had him throwing it back. And Nick describes it as almost kind of batting it away, just like a fly, like, leave me alone. I don't know how that's going to play. I'm very curious to see all of this. I did initially, when it was described, I think that would be a cool way to see Michael, through the POV of this drone going into the darkness of a barely lit bathroom. I think all that could be really cool. But I'm curious to see how it plays out. I'm curious to see what other deleted scenes might be in there. If you remember some of our recent interviews with some of the other cast members, we know that there's tons of things that were filmed, and just David Gordon Green's style of filmmaking, it's very kind of, fluid, and things change, and he likes to allow for a lot of improvisation with his actors, and to not really stick to the written dialogue as much as just stick to the themes and the overall gist of it. And things were changing right up to the last minute for a lot of these performers. So what we're going to see on these deleted scenes, I'm very curious. And extended scenes, I think that's really going to be some of these kills probably a little more drawn out, I imagine. Andromeda says, getting both. Need access to my second favorite Halloween movie of all time at all times. I hear you, man. Hell yeah. That's the way to do it. Patrick pre-ordered the Steelbook. Nice. But I will get the digital on Amazon. Can't wait to see the extra footage. Yeah, that's my thing is, for financial reasons, I want to hold out for the physical, but I'm like you. I don't know if I can wait to see all the extras. I think it's going to be well worth the $20 that Amazon's asking. Michael would have slaughtered Lori if she would have tried to go to the Myers house after him and she attacked that doctor. Her wound reopened and she could barely walk, Larry says. Yes. Yes to all that. I know what you mean. And yeah, I mean, that's another reason not to get too into this. Although this does tie into our next news item, which is Halloween Ends. Yes, Larry, I agree with what you're saying right there. And I think that is, in one sense, why it does make sense, the theatrical ending as is. And also, considering, knowing now what we know and what David Gordon Green knows, is that the story will now jump ahead 4 years. And that she's not going to go immediately right from that hospital to the Myers house, as was, clearly what they were originally thinking or trying to set up at that time. Again, I'm not going to spell it all out for you here. We've done it before, but if you've got the novelization, I mean, the description of that final scene is pretty clear in the novelization. I imagine it's going to be pretty close to that in this extended cut. It makes all the sense in the world that that would have been how they were going to end it, which I do think will be a great scene to see and a very interesting kind of alternate cut to see. I don't know if I'll like it better or not. I'll reserve judgment. I mean, right now I really do like how the theatrical release ends. I think this would be, as I've said before, my current opinion is the extended scene's a little more of a to be continued than the way it ends now, where it's like more of like a this is an end, even though we know it's still to be continued, but that spells out the to be continued a little bit more to me, which I don't think is necessarily necessary. All that being said, I understand why it's a cool scene and why David Gordon Green wants it to be seen out there and why it, could conceivably be maybe a better way to end it. I'll reserve judgment until I see it, but I can't wait. Let's see. Patrick says, with all the money I spent on Halloween stuff, I wish I could claim it as a dependent on my tax return. Claim Michael and Lori as dependents. There you go. David is getting the physical only. I hear you, man. Physical. Yeah, I mean, I think I've got to get the physical for sure. It was just a question of could I, can I hold out and not buy the digital for a few weeks and just wait on the physical? And I guess I've got about 7 days or about 6 days now to decide if I can hold out or not. But yes, Andromeda, that's what I'm saying. So psyched about the commentaries. That's what I'm saying. That is like such a big deal. Um, I honestly, I'm really hoping that when they were sitting there doing those commentaries, that somebody was smart and just went ahead and had them go ahead and record commentaries for the 2018 film right then and there. I hope so. I hope that after this release comes out, that then right away we get an announcement that, oh, this summer we're releasing Halloween 2018 extended cut, and it'll have that alternate ending that we all heard about, and or those deleted scenes we still haven't seen. You know what I mean? And or even if it's not an extended cut, just a special edition with those scenes, released finally. But what would really makes it more worth it for me, as we said, would be the commentaries. And I'd love to hear those same 2 commentary tracks for that film. I always love the writers, so I mean, if they wanted to add Danny McBride and any of those guys, that'd be fine too. But just having David there, I think, yeah, I love the director commentaries. Love them. I mean, it's one of my favorite things about collecting DVDs and now Blu-rays is those commentary tracks and just the bonus material in general. But the commentary tracks are like always my favorite bonus material on pretty much any release. So that I would love to get as a special edition, and then that would just not that Universal needs me to tell them how to market their film, but you're still riding HK right now. Physical release comes out in January. As soon as that drops, go ahead and announce a couple months later this special edition of 2018 that drops, and then boom. As soon as that's out, you can start the marketing for HNs. It'll be completely wrapped by then. It'll be completely, hopefully, locked by then, by summer. There you go, and we'll be off and running. That's the way it could go. Yeah, 2018 didn't have many extras, did it? No, it did not. It did have some deleted scenes, some stuff like that. Which were good, but we just know there's a few other deleted scenes that we know were filmed that have not been seen, so it'd be nice to kind of at least have that released in some way. And yeah, I mean, as far as the other bonus material, a lot of it was stuff that was released either in the marketing of the film itself or in the marketing of the home video release. So, a lot of the featurette type stuff we had seen before if you were watching all that stuff. So the commentary just always adds so much value to those physical discs. And I love now, credit to um, the powers that be, Universal, whoever, for having these extras on this digital release as well, because not all digital releases have any extras at all. So yeah, I love that we're getting some of that. All right, let's move in to HNs here. As you know, the sequel is about to start filming. It's going to be shooting in January, and we don't have a firm date locked in. Now, I know you guys, there was some sites that reported on some news that came out, and I'm going to talk about it for a minute because some things we are confirmed, and a few things not exactly. But you probably saw this report. This is from murphysmultiverse.com, and this is not a site that I'm familiar with, not an outlet that I'm really familiar with, but this got a lot of traction. A lot of people shared and posted this story, and they say that they have exclusive details on Halloween Ends. Now, some of this we've been able to independently confirm on our own. Um, as far as the character breakdowns, I don't know exactly where they're getting all of that. I mean, it certainly, I haven't been able to confirm that, but it also doesn't sound unreasonable, these character breakdowns that they have in here. But that being said, I'm not going to concentrate on those so much. But what we do know about Halloween Ends is it's going to film in Georgia, in Savannah, Georgia. That lines up with, that's what they're saying according to their exclusive. And again, they're not saying who their sources are on this or where they got it. So I just don't know. But I've heard from some of our own sources for some weeks now that it was looking more and more and more like Georgia. And I do know for a fact that David Gordon Green was just in Savannah with his whole team shooting a small portion of The Exorcist, David Gordon Green's Exorcist. So again, Halloween 2018 shot in Charleston, South Carolina. Of course, HK shot in Wilmington, North Carolina. It looks like HNs is going to Savannah, Georgia. Again, that would make sense. They were just there. This site, again, Murphy's Multiverse, says the starting date is January 19th. I haven't locked that in, but again, it kind of lines up. If you look back at the schedule of Halloween 2018, that one began filming actually on January 12th of 2018, and it wrapped very soon after, actually, not too many weeks after, on the week of February, I think it was 18th or 19th. So it's definitely going to be starting in January. January 19th might be the day. That is a Wednesday, if you look at the calendar, which is a little weird. They also report that the film is operating under the working title of Cave Dweller. Now, this lines up, and it's also as listed over here on a recent issue of Production Weekly from just a few weeks ago. You can see highlighted right there Halloween Ends working title Cave Dweller. So that part we can definitely say is happening. Now, if you'll remember, HK working title was Mob Rules. H2018 working title was Uncle Orange. And now we have Cave Dweller. So chime away in the live chat. Let me hear your thoughts on what this may mean. Mob Rules certainly telling as far as what that film was about. Uncle Orange, not exactly as telling um, about what that film was about. In fact, if anything, a little misleading, unless they're planning some crazy reveal, which I would undo a lot of what they've done already, and I don't think they should or will do that. Um, so, with the Cave Dweller working title, let's just talk about that for just a second, because I've my initial thought, like most of you maybe, was, oh, that's Michael, like, hiding out, living in some cave type underground type, which it could be. But I kind of think, knowing David Gordon Green and all that, maybe it's talking about another character, and not literally living in a cave, but I mean more metaphorically. That could be Lori, but I kind of think maybe it's talking about Allison. David Gordon Green has said before, we've talked about it before, that this film's going to be a little more of a coming of age story, is how he described it. That makes me think of Allison as well. So, and again, there are some character breakdowns here, which are part of a casting call. And I've not seen this actual casting call, so I can't verify it. And I don't think these characters are going to be major characters. But then again, as we saw in HK, a seemingly minor character from 2018, like Vanessa and Marcus, could easily become somebody much more significant in the next film, and and somebody that you don't think is going to be that significant, is very memorable in there as they were. So, we've got a self-assured nurse character between the ages of 28 and 35, and a few other characters, a Mr. and Mrs. Mead. Uh, they are parents to a young boy named Noah, who's a nice kid with the ability to switch to a jerk on a dime. Sounds like maybe, a little harkening back to introducing some new young kids to the mix, maybe, which would be nice. Um, and again, maybe the coming of age is not any of the characters we're thinking of anyway. Maybe it's this kid Noah. And this is all assuming that Murphy's multiverse has any of this correct anyway. And I'm not assuming that right now. I'm just taking a look here. The other two were Scott, a male but in his 50s, and Donna, also in their 50s. Um, they are Timothy's overbearing parents. And yeah, another couple between the ages of 40 and 60. And some younger kids. So again, I mean, more victims potentially for Michael Myers. Again, I've not been able to confirm these casting calls. I've not seen any casting calls for HNs from the usual sources or from the casting agent who worked on the previous two films and also worked most recently with David Gordon Green on The Exorcist. So there we go. But we can talk about that Cave Dweller working title. Again, let me hear your theories on that, and where you think that's coming from. Again, I mean, it makes a little sense thinking about where we're at with all this, but I'm curious to what you guys think. If you're watching this after the fact, after we're not live, then I'd love to hear you as well, and be sure to comment down in the comments below. Ken says, someone made an article say Karen is to take Michael's spot to become evil. Hmm. Yeah. I don't think so. I think Karen's gone. Andromeda's wondering if it's misinformation to keep us guessing. Could be. Patrick wants the original ending of 2018 released. That's what I'm saying. I mean, again, they don't even have to necessarily do an extended cut of it, but I would love to see it. Just like I'd love to, see any of the deleted scenes and the gag reels and the bloopers. I don't think there was a gag reel on the 2018 film either. They're putting a gag reel on this one at least, which should be cool. Patrick bets they'll release it in a set with all three movies of this trilogy. Well, yeah, they'll definitely release a set probably the year after Ends comes out, like after the year after that, because that will be the well, at that point it'll be the 45th anniversary of the franchise and the original film, which will make it the 5th anniversary of the 2018 film in this franchise. So David says, "Hope it's not a throwback to H5." No, I don't think it'll be that. Larry says, poor Allison lost her friend's father, father-in-law, boyfriend, and supposedly her mother. Yeah, I don't think there's a supposedly, guys. I've seen a few uh, things. I'm in a couple Facebook groups, and I see things every now and then, and people. I guess some people don't think Karen's really dead. I don't know. I don't subscribe to that theory much at all. Yeah, I said it a few weeks ago, but I think if that were the case, it'd be equivalent of the beginning prologue of Resurrection when they undo that great ending of H2O and they just undo it right in the beginning. And so to do that, it would be like gutting Halloween Kills of one of its best things, which is this major death. I mean, in a movie called Kills, you gotta have a lot of kills, and your last one's gotta be a big, meaningful one. So if they were to take that away, I think it just takes away a whole lot of the film. And then what happened? It just, yeah, no. So again, anything's possible. But no, I don't. Karen's dead. Yeah, I don't subscribe to that at all. I'd be shocked. Wouldn't be the first time I'd be shocked though by this franchise. But no, she's dead. Young Major is here. What's up, man? Happy Michael Myers Monday. Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back. Thank you for being here and joining us. Yes, Byron. Halloween Kills soundtrack expanded edition. Oh yeah, we'll get that definitely, definitely. Anyone who wears a Christmas sweater on Halloween has got to go. I do agree with that statement. Although, in fairness, if you were her and raised by Lori, and you might want to just skip over Halloween too. Although that's sacrilegious for us at Halloween Daily. Yeah, I get that. All right, guys. Let's get to tonight's premiere event. Okay. Let's talk just a little bit about the wonderful, the awesome, the amazingly talented, super cool Danielle Harris. Okay. Um, we did this interview last week. It was actually 1 week ago today, on Monday, last Monday. I thought it was very fitting that we talked on Michael Myers Monday, and this interview was kind of a long time coming in a lot of ways, at least for from where I was sitting, and it was. I'll tell you a little story um, because it's kind of a full circle moment in a way, and it does kind of tie in with the larger picture of HDN and us moving into what's going to be our 10th year. We're in our 10th year right now, and next year will be our 10th anniversary. But yeah, I first met Danielle the very first time almost 10 years ago. This was back in 2012 at the very first horror convention we ever attended, my wife and I. And we went and we attended this convention and we met her and she was awesome. And this was our, this was a big deal for us. This was like a whole new world for us stepping into this. We had not launched Halloween Daily News yet, but it wasn't far off, but it wasn't really in my thought. But this is why this story kind of ties in, because I didn't know it, but it does tie into HDN. And looking back and doing this interview last week and editing it and kind of looking back the last few days, um, I can kind of see what I couldn't see then, that when we met Danielle, this is actually not my first time interviewing her. Technically, we met at that convention back in early 2012, and we were there on a Sunday. We had actually been there on Friday, and she was like, it was a huge convention, tons of amazing people. Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Ernie Hudson, just tons of awesome people were there. But she was at the top of our list, right? And but she wasn't there Friday because flight delays or whatever, and we couldn't be there on Saturday. We had to come back home 2 hours away, work that day, um, and then we go back up there on Sunday, and we get there, and again, top of our list, to-do list is go meet Danielle. Fingers crossed she's there. She's there. There's no line. It's perfect timing. We get there. She's awesome, of course. She's amazing. She's totally cool. We get a photo. We get our autograph, and she agrees to like do a quick little interview for our website. We had not launched HDN yet, but we ran like a kind of regional entertainment news site based here that covered mostly local and regional entertainment news. And so we were there, and she was like, "Sure, I'll do an interview." And there was like nobody around for a few minutes. It was kind of Sunday afternoon, so we talked for about 4 or 5 minutes, just real quick. No voice recorder or anything. I've got I was not ready because I didn't think, I didn't even think it would come up in conversation, much less she would say yes. So I was not really prepared, to say the least. But we jumped right in. I had my pen and pad, not even a voice recorder. That's how long ago this was, you guys. I didn't have a voice recorder, nothing. It was like old school, which is how I would do interviews for over a decade, by the way. But so we do the interview, and it's just some quick little general questions, but she did give me a little scoop right then, because I was like, well, what's coming up next? Or I might have even mentioned Hatchet, and she was like, well, we're about to do Hatchet 3. And that was kind of news. Like, everybody knew they were going to make Hatchet 3. Kane Hodder had just been confirmed to come back. We didn't know if she was back, and she just went on record and said she was back. So I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is a scoop for our little tiny site. So we get home next day. I write it up on the site, and our local audience, they don't really care about Hatchet. They don't know, they're just not into that. So I'm like, well, maybe Bloody Disgusting would like to know about this, because they're covering Hatchet, and they're like my favorite site, and they're the site I go to every single day still, by the way. So I emailed him, emailed Brad the link, and sure enough, I want to say it was within minutes. It might have been maybe an hour or two, but it feels like it was within minutes. And they didn't even respond or anything. It was just, I went to their site, like I do numerous times a day sometimes. Boom. And there it was. They picked up the article. There it is, Danielle Harris, Hatchet 3. And we had the scoop. We were credited for it. It was great. And I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, I can see that planted a seed at that moment that would later grow, actually 5 months later would grow to be the launch of HalloweenDailyNews.com, which we launched in September of 2012. And it was basically that seed that got planted there, saying, hey, I can go to this amazing event with amazing like-minded people. I mean, if you go to cons, you remember your first one and what it was like, and you know, so it was that, and then I can do what I do, which is journalism and interviewing people and photography, and I can do all of that, and in the process meet and talk to people that inspire me and that I'm a fan of, like Danielle and Tony Todd and people like that. And then on top of all that, we can put it on our outlet, and my favorite site, Bloody Disgusting, is going to pick that up and expose it to all of you guys and the rest of the world and other like-minded people. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is the type of news I want to be reporting on. This is the type of people I want to be interviewing. This is the type of events that I want to be covering. And so my wife and I, we were launched HDN 5 months later, and it wasn't an idea of like this is going to be our bread and butter. It was this let's just launch this and see what happens for now, and this can be our outlet for things like these conventions and stuff like that. And then it's just grown from there, and every day from day one it's just grown from there. So in the almost 10 years since then, a little over 9 years now, we've gone on to interview dozens of people from the Halloween franchise specifically, dozens of others from outside the franchise. We've gone to tons of conventions. I think maybe just because of COVID and all that, that was the only time we spent a whole over 12 months where we didn't get to at least one or two. And yeah, now we've kind of, found, new friends and new family through these events and everything. And many of these interviews and relationships have come as a result of that. So all of that has brought us to here we are, and it's coming up on 10 years next April, from that very first meeting. And in the back of my head that whole time, I'm always like, interviewing so many people that I admire so much, and they're all so amazing and so awesome. But it's always in the back of my mind, one day, I would love to do a follow up with Danielle Harris and kind of do it right and be prepared this time, and actually, have a couple questions actually thought out a little bit ahead of time, and just do it right, in other words, and do it for HDN, have it officially, the HDN interview. And so here we are. Last week it finally happened, and yeah, she was amazing, as you can imagine. And it was a great conversation. We talked about high points, just little kind of bullet points of her career and her life and her journey up to this point. I'll tell you guys now, the interview, it's a little over an hour long. We didn't talk, like, most of the interview is not about Michael Myers and this franchise, honestly. I mean, we talk about Halloween 4, and we talk about the Rob Zombie films, and we talk about Jamie Lloyd, of course. But I did very purposefully go into this not wanting to, or at least attempting to not ask every single question that I know she's been asked a million times and answered a million times. Stories that, while I know they'd be great to hear, and I can listen to her tell the stories all the time, and it'd be great to have that on our channel. You know what I mean? I wanted to make the most of our time and try not to dive into every single detail like I could. Like, I could spend an hour or two just talking about Halloween 4 or Halloween 5 or the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. I could spend an hour or two just talking about the Hatchet films. You know what I mean? So there's that in there. There's definitely that in there, but that is not the majority of it. We hit on a lot of other things, and that was very a conscious direction I wanted to go in, because I did want to talk about some of the more recent things that she's done since kind of re-emerging in the horror genre, thanks to the Rob Zombie Halloween '07 film. And so we talk about all that. We talk about some of the more recent projects um, that she's appeared in, like Stakeland, like Among Friends, which she directed, and in which she actually reprises the Jamie Lloyd character briefly. A lot of people don't know that, or have forgotten that, or just never knew that. Check out Among Friends if you never have. There's a really cool, probably the coolest Halloween 4 Easter egg of all time. Danielle is Jamie Lloyd in there. Um, but we talk about that, and because I just had always ever seen since seeing that film, I always wanted to ask her about that, how that came to be, and whose idea was that to put that mask and costume back on? How did that come to play? And we talked about working with Tarantino recently on Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and we talked a lot about her new podcast with Scout, which we've talked about before on here. It's called Talk Scary to Me. It's a great new podcast. Check it out. They're on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts. I listen to them on Spotify myself. They're on episode 6 right now. It's really good. But we talk about that and just about her journey, and of course about Halloween itself and what the holiday means to her. A little bit about that as well. So we hit on all that stuff, and obviously, this is, like I said, kind of a full circle moment in a way for us here at HDN, for our brand identity, but also just kind of our journey from walking into our first convention coverage, leading into more or less a life of doing this for the last decade. So now I'm going to shut up for just a few minutes, and we're going to world premiere just a little clip from this interview. Now, the full interview is coming on Wednesday. This clip is a bit about Rob Zombie's Halloween '07, and then a little bit about the sequel as well. And I present this clip tonight because, again, this is just something that I always wondered myself, because I remember the '07 remake being in development and seeing her name listed in the cast and just being so excited, saying, well, this is epic. They're bringing Jamie Lloyd into this, even though she's not Jamie Lloyd. What a cool thing, to keep her in this franchise and reincorporate her, and now she's an adult, although she's playing a teenager in that film. And I was so excited, and I think we all agree, she does a great job, especially in the sequel, which we talk about. But I always wanted to know, were there conversations about that, going into it. So that's where we pick up this bit of our conversation, and you'll hear what she says about that, which I have to say didn't know and was a little surprised about. And then we talk a little bit about her character Annie's unbelievably emotional death scene in the sequel, Halloween 2, and how Danielle herself was actually a little bit instrumental in creating that as well, which I think is one of the most powerful moments in that film, and I would argue one of the most powerful death scenes, certainly emotionally speaking, in the entire franchise. And a big part of that, I think, of course, Brad Dourif's performance, of course, Scout's performance during that. But when Rob throws in those quick little home video clips of a young Danielle around the age she was when she was Jamie Lloyd, just as if to kind of remind us, and just kind of and maybe for other people, if they weren't quite aware, didn't know, or kind of forgot. So anyway, this it's not a super long clip, but we touch on each of those films just a little bit right here. So here we go. Check it out. An exclusive premiere preview of my brand new exclusive interview with Danielle Harris. was there conversation was there conversations about what a big deal it was going to be for fans that you were in this franchise again? I mean, were there those
There
talks?
wasn't. There really wasn't. It was actually fairly difficult for me to get in the room for that movie. It was not offered
Really?
to me. Yeah, Rob didn't want anybody from any of the other Halloweens,
Okay.
including myself.
Hmm.
So, and I never thought like, oh, I could play another character. It just didn't really seem like I didn't
Hmm.
know if it would be accepted. I mean, these characters are iconic in the original, and yes, I was too in 4 and 5, but I didn't know if that would necessarily cross over.
Hmm.
So, and again, I didn't really know that the fan support would be there until after Rob's movies came out. So I didn't know what I was getting into. I just thought, okay, cool. I mean, I just auditioned for it. I sort of fought my way in, and I remember going to the audition room in front of casting and signing in on the call sheet and my name, and it was like the untitled Rob Zombie project. But of course, I knew what it was, and looking around
Yeah.
at the other people in the room, like, I wonder if they know what this is, or if they know who I am, or kind of what the deal is. But I didn't feel like I had a foot in the door. I thought that the cards were stacked against me for it. So and even on set, I sort of felt like, Scout, like, that's Lori, like she's the lead and I'm a supporting character and this is really fun. But I only worked 2 weeks on it, so
Hmm.
I really didn't feel like it was my thing
Hmm.
until after, and I was like, oh, this actually is a pretty important
Yeah.
important part, and fans were excited to have me back and were super accepting. I mean, Scout got a lot of shit for playing
Hmm.
Lori, where I was immediately accepted and they were like, yay, she's back. Um so I was pretty happy about that, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, the fan base was absolutely excited, and I just remember as it was in development and seeing that you were in the cast, just thinking, just as a fan, we hadn't even launched the website at that time, but I just remember just being thinking, how cool is this, and surely they know what they're doing, bringing Danielle back in into this, and but that's wild to hear that you were literally had to fight for it like any other
Yeah,
role.
I did. And then, Rob, once I went into the room,
Hmm.
Rob was not in the room. He doesn't like to be in the room when he's casting, because he feels like he could be swayed by someone's personality versus what they look like on film. And that's really what he's
Hmm.
casting, is what do they look like when they're in front of the
Yeah.
camera. So he watches from another room. So I never met him until I actually got the job. But I think he really went to bat for me after he saw me do the role. I mean, I still see, like, I think on the extras, like the extras on the DVD, there's like our auditions and stuff, and it's so
Hmm.
crazy how we can get cast off of like 3 minutes in a room. But anyway, so I think he went to bat for me after he saw that I was her as well, that I could do Annie, and that it
Yeah.
actually felt right, and that he didn't just see me as Jamie Lloyd anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, it's just a fun remake, and a really effective remake. I really enjoy the Rob Zombie films. I mean, I know every fan has their favorites and dislikes and whatever, but I champion both of them all the time, and I love the second one. I mean, I think especially when it comes to your performance and Scouts as
Oh,
well. I mean, it
thanks.
it really allowed both of you to really do some of your strongest work.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I mean, you did some amazing work in 4 and 5, especially at that age. And but
Thank you.
that moment in Annie's death scene when Rob inserts a shot of a young it's not really Jamie Lloyd, but I mean, that to me was definitely a kind of reminder, just in case you missed it and forgot,
Right, right, right.
just a kind of a wink for us fans, just yeah, and for the maybe the casual viewers that maybe didn't put it all together at that moment. That yeah, this is a pretty big deal here. Not just that it's Annie, which is
Right.
emotional enough, but this is a performer who's been a part of this franchise. At that time, you were in as many movies as Jamie Lee had been
Right,
at that
right.
point. So, not a whole lot of people outside of Donald Pleasance can say that. But I think that had to have been, something that he did on purpose at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he called me, when he was, I think in the middle of editing, and said, "Do you have any old, family movies?" And I was like, "Oh, for what?
Mhm.
He said, I just want to put it in, in this little flashback thing. And I was like, oh my God, I have to call my grandma. So I called my grandma and said, do you have any old VHS stuff? And she said, I do, but it's all over the place. I don't know what's on these tapes. And I was like, oh God, just send them to me. So I didn't really, he needed them right away because they were going to lock pictures. So I just sent him one that I know had a bunch of random little clips on it, and was like, oh God, I'm so embarrassed that Rob's like watching my family fight, and like weird family stuff from the 80s. So so he picked that piece, but I think it was a way to sort of say goodbye to me and the franchise. And I think
Mhm.
he knew that that's what he was doing. And that's why I think it was much more dramatic than if it was just another actress maybe playing
Yeah.
Annie. It was also the only character actually in both that you didn't see him actually kill her
That's
or
true.
or get her. It was
Mhm.
sort of after, which is I remember reading Halloween 2 thinking, wow, I there's no scenes with me and Michael.
Yeah.
That's and I die. That's gonna maybe not be so well received. So maybe we should do something. And Rob was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, Tyler, what do you want to do? And he just said, well, why don't you guys just go for it, just battle it
Mhm.
out. And he just set cameras up in that room, and I was like, all right. And I remember Tyler being like, what can I break, what can I not break, like what can I destroy trying to
Yeah.
get her in this room? And Rob was like, fucking go for it. So we added that after of the little snippets of
Yeah.
him trying to get me and all that. But I always think that's so much better, using your imagination as to what he actually did to me and how he did it is just so much stronger than anything that we could have actually filmed realistically.
Yes. 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 Jamie Lloyd in the house. Yes, you guys. The full interview premieres this Wednesday right here on the Halloween Daily News YouTube channel. It'll also be available, of course, at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Horror icon, Halloween royalty. We are just so happy and honored that Danielle took the time to chat with us for you guys. I mean, she's awesome. You don't need me to tell you that. I mean, we all agree. I know you guys are fans like we are. She's awesome. And yeah, check out her podcast. We also talked about a bunch of cool projects that she's got going on coming up. You're going to get the lowdown on all that this Wednesday when the full interview premieres. Please mark your calendars, turn on your notifications, subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss it. Yes, I love this decor. All right, guys. Again, that interview is going to premiere in full on Wednesday. Right now, let's jump over and do some Michael Myers Monday shout outs. Cody, uh, loving the interview. Matt, my anxiety went up when I saw Danielle Harris pop up. She's one of my all-time fave characters. Yeah, she's awesome. She's and just really nice and cool. I think you guys are really gonna like the interview. I hope you do. Again, I mean that's why I kind of gave you a little backstory. So I mean obviously it means a lot to me. Big deal for me and for us here at HDN in general. And also I hope for you guys. I mean she's one of these people that a lot of you have asked for and requested and whenever we're like who would you like us to try to interview and that's one of the names that you guys have put forth a lot. So thrilled to be able to deliver that as a kind of holiday present here for you guys. And I'm thinking about you guys when I'm doing these interviews. I mean, I hope you know that. I mean, I'm thinking about a lot of things. I'm thinking about, but I'm definitely specifically my Monday night crew here, the live crew. I'm thinking about you guys when I'm doing these interviews and trying to represent you guys well, and also, get some of the answers that you guys might want to hear. And yes, we did talk about, would you come back if Malik got on the phone and gave that call? And you will hear exactly what she says in the full interview this Wednesday, um, and lots more. So look forward to that, and lots of more, lots more exclusive interviews and content coming. Uh, we're wrapping things up as this year winds down, this calendar year anyway, and then we're just going to ramp it up and go full steam ahead starting next month. So lots of stuff is coming and in the works. I'm already lining up the first next batch of interviews that are going to be dropping early next year. But yeah, you are not going to want to miss this one with horror icon and Halloween icon Danielle Harris. All right, let's jump over now to social media and do some Michael Myers Monday shout outs. I like to do this at the end of every Michael Myers Monday live stream because we started this hashtag back in 2013 just as a way to celebrate Michael Myers, and it's just kind of become a life of its own and taken on a life of its own, and people make their own memes and gifs and videos. So every week I try to pick out just a couple and give a couple shout outs, and these are not all, and they're not even necessarily all the best ones because there's so many good ones, but we just don't have time for all that. So let's jump over to Twitter right now. From the Halloween verse, one of my favorite, I can't talk tonight. One of my favorites, Linda Vanderclock at Totally Linda V. You should follow her on Twitter if you're not already. Follow all of the Halloween verse if you're not already. She says, someone totally drank all my beer this weekend. Hashtag Michael Myers Monday. And yeah, I think we know who it was. Also on Twitter, also from the Halloween verse, this is Dr. Samuel Loomis himself getting in the Christmas spirit, saying he's making a list, checking it 6 times. Not twice, but 6 times. Checking it 6 times. And more of the holiday spirit on this Michael Myers Monday. Connie Satterfield. This is the first Monday of December, so I guess it's fitting. Here we have a Christmas take on the iconic Halloween poster the night he came down the chimney. All right, let's move over to Instagram for a minute here. This is at Brad in Westville. Now, full disclosure, Brad didn't even use the Michael Myers Monday hashtag. But I became aware of this, not because I saw it under the hashtag, but because the great Nancy Stevens herself shared it on her IG story tonight. So when she shared this, I saw it, and I love it. This is what I need. People take the Michael Myers Monday and they make their own memes out of them. This is the latest. I've never seen this one before. This is great. And sometimes when they make these memes, it's that Monday that you're Michael attacking Monday like it's a motivational thing. Other times it's that Michael is Monday attacking you, or better yet, sneaking up on you and murdering you. And that's this one. I love this brand new meme. Almost Monday, and there's Marion. Nobody there. And then it's Monday, and then he's there. And also me. I love this one. So, Brad, if you made that, awesome. Whoever made it, love it. Keep it up. Also on Instagram, our friend at Halloween Vibes, rocking a Trick or Treat Studios mask, says it's Michael Myers Monday again, so I know the deal. Halloween vibes, always sharing the Michael Myers Monday love every week. Gotta love it. Also on Instagram, Miss Rocker Supreme, one of our friends from Mad Monster and many of the cons. She says it's a holiday edition of a Michael Myers Monday as I'm getting excited for this upcoming weekend. You already know that I'm going to bring Mrs. Claus to Spooky just to get attacked by monsters and slashers, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, poor Mrs. Claus. She'll end up having nightmares before Christmas. I love it. Bring in the spooky to Christmas. That's the way to do it. And one more with the holiday spirit from Instagram as well. This is at Sam Hain Horror 2021. Simple, happy Michael Myers Monday. Decorated lights and Santa hat on what looks like a Trick or Treat Studios HK mask. And finally, on Instagram, our buddy Christopher Nelson, Oscar-winning special effects makeup artist for Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, shared some new behind-the-scenes photos from the set of HK today. He says, hashtag Michael Myers Monday. He is one of our best Michael Myers Monday participants out there, always sharing quality material and content every week. Christopher says some fun behind-the-scenes set pics of flashback Myers, including what's under the mask. Application by him, prosthetic by Vincent Van Dyke Effects. And yeah, you can see there is Aaron Armstrong with his version of the wounded eye from the 78 scenes. There he is. Again, I think we all agree those flashback scenes are awesome. And another very cool shot of Myers. Looks great. That mask is stunning. Looks awesome. All right, so you guys keep using the hashtag, and who knows, maybe you'll be featured on a Michael Myers Monday live stream one day. Who knows? All right, so the big news for us this week is our brand new exclusive interview with Danielle Harris, dropping this Wednesday morning, 10:30 a.m. right here on the Halloween Daily News YouTube channel. Here is, like I said, I was going through some old photos, putting together this interview, and it was reminding me of a lot of things. And here is actually a photo from that very first meeting back in 2012. That fateful day. There we go. That's me and Danielle almost 10 years ago. Crazy how time flies. That was 2012. And just for shits, we'll do the time warp. Fast forward 3 years, and this one was taken in 2015 at Flashback Weekend in Chicago. And again, she's so awesome to actually hold our HDN decal there. Definitely one of the best. One of our favorites for sure. Larry says, crazy how Michael remembered her and did the same thing to her 40 years ago, minus the kill. Um, Byron says, Rachel is my second favorite. Danielle's Byron's favorite Scream Queen. Rachel is his second favorite. Yes, I think Danielle's um, a favorite scream queen of a lot. I mean, she's really, and we talk about that, about how the zombie film, the '07 film, really kind of brought her back into the horror community. As one of you mentioned, she was, of course, did do Urban Legend in between Halloween 5 and Halloween '07, but other than that, she didn't do a lot in this genre. Meanwhile, she did work on some amazing projects with pretty much all of the biggest movie stars of the '90s, and but we concentrated mostly on this genre. Although we did talk a little bit about reprising her role as Molly from Roseanne just earlier this year on The Connors, which I thought was really cool. So again, this is just another interview that obviously I'm proud of. I'm proud of all these interviews. It makes me happy to be able to bring these to you guys, and it's exciting for me when we get somebody on here on the channel that we haven't had before and haven't talked to them. And it's great to bring other people back on that we have had, because then we can jump right back into a conversation even quicker, like we did with James in October. Now it's just kind of a running thing. So like I said, moving forward, there's going to be lots more of that. You guys, your response to a lot of our previous interviews earlier this year, especially those around the Halloween Kills release with many of the cast members. Uh, yeah, your response has been really great and really encouraging. And so we're going to keep going with those interviews and do a lot more. Obviously, as Halloween ends, begins filming and production. A lot of people involved in that film aren't going to be available for a little while, but in due time, trust me, we plan to have a ton of Halloween ends interviews next year leading up to the release of that, and lots of other stuff from other films within the franchise and all things Halloween related and horror related outside of this franchise as well. Um, Lots of cool stuff coming, especially on the interview front. Can't wait to share that stuff with you. And so now you know what I was hinting at a few weeks ago. I said that hopefully there'd be something kind of cool that I could share with you guys when we convened next. And I didn't say what it was. It was this. It was the Danielle Harris interview. It happened. It's in the can now. Finishing up editing it today, and like I said, it will be up Wednesday. That's when it's scheduled. So check it out then, and let me know in the comments below what you think about everything we've talked about tonight. All of which you can learn more about anytime, of course, at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Let's see. Larry says, Marion. Phil says, I was there at Flashback Weekend 2015. Nice. That was epic. David says, before these interviews, Matt says, are you ready? Yes, yes. All right. For you, David, and I don't know if Corn's out there, where Ryan Corn's at or something, but they'll watch this eventually. For you, David, and Phil asked for it earlier, and he hooked me up with that confirmation on the iTunes pre-order. So here we go, guys. Are you ready for the Danielle Harris interview? Are you ready for all the other big interviews we got coming up? Are you ready for a kick-ass 2022 where we're covering Halloween Ends, Terrifier 2, and so much more? Are you ready? All right, guys. This has been great. Um, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Pretty sure everybody watching at this point has. But if you just stumbled upon us and you liked what you saw, then definitely subscribe to the channel, because we're doing more and more of this type of stuff, these live streams. And like I said, lots of news content, exclusive convention reports, and exclusive interviews with amazing people are coming. Next one is this Wednesday. Turn on your notifications, and hey, would love to hear from you down in the comments below if you've got thoughts and opinions on any of the stuff we've talked about. Mainly, let us know about the extended cut. Have you already pre-ordered the digital or the physical or both? Also, let us know about ends. How stoked are you, and what do you think Cave Dweller means? Let me hear your theories. Uh, Again, Mob Rules was pretty dead on as far as the working title and what that meant for the plot of HK. Uncle Orange, not quite so much. So, how much we can read into that, I wouldn't read too much into it, but it's fun to speculate right now in any case. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here right now. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, leave us a comment, leave us a like, share, invite your friends. We're here on Mondays. This is what we do. Every day is Halloween, and every Monday is Michael Myers Monday. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank y'all for watching, and happy Michael Myers Monday.